Pantry Studio production.
The following may contain strong language and deals with adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I will be the last to fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see. I won't have your name to call, 'cause I will be the last to fall.
With over 24% of the 1.9 billion square acres in America alone, the mountains that so many people call home are also host to some of the most incredible mysteries in the world. The missing, the murdered, strange creatures, unexplained lights, and sightings of unidentified objects. These stories may be strange, they may be sad, they may be odd, but they are mysterious. These are the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. And now, live from the Pantry Studio, broadcast to all time zones around the world, with listeners of the podcast in the United States, Canada, Germany, Norway, India, the United Kingdom, and more. These are the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. Now, your host, Chris Sloan.
Good evening. Thanks a lot for joining us for the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. Like she said, I'm Chris. Hope that you guys are having a great evening. Hope that your weekend's been pretty good too. Yeah, you're going to hear a little bit of something in the background to mellow it out, because this is honestly one of those episodes that are, in just about every respect, it's not only a mystery, it's a tragedy. Tonight at roughly midnight, maybe a little after, depending upon where you pick up the podcast at. Maybe that'll be on Apple or Spotify. Spotify, like I said, normally gets it quicker, but that's a bit distracting to me. So Spotify normally gets it a little bit quicker. So, but at any rate, on your drive to work tomorrow, or at lunch, or at work, maybe you can check this out and give us your thoughts and opinions on it. So there's 5 different things that we're going to be talking about concerning the secrets of Bardstown. In May of 2013, 33 years old, Jason Ellis, who you see here pictured, well, let me do this. $34, and he was on his way home from putting in a shift. He's a police officer, of course, and it was, I don't know, around 2:30 in the morning, something like that. Anyways, down at the exit, bottom of exit 34, there was some tree limbs and things like that laying in the road. He gets out, and he's wearing his ballistics vest, or bulletproof vest. He gets out to move these tree limbs out of the road, hits the blue lights, turns on the lights so nobody will run him over or come up on him and run over all this stuff and do damage to themselves or their car or whatever. And about that time, and I'm really unclear about this part, but I know he was shot with a 12-gauge shotgun. I'm just not sure of how many times. And some reports said in his side, some in the stomach. End result being the same, he died as a result of that. He left behind 2 beautiful kids. I believe that they were both little boys. One had Down syndrome, and left behind a wife. In the podcast, we talk about Jason before he became a cop. Everything I've found out about this guy says he was a great guy. He was the kind of guy that pulled you over and would have you laughing in a matter of 5 or 10 minutes, just talking to you. He wasn't the hard-nosed guy that was up there with his finger in your face and this and that. No, he was different. He did his job, and he did it well. But even attorneys, defense attorneys, which are notorious for just not liking cops. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying a lot of them just. But even defense attorneys in Bardstown in Nelson County, Kentucky, had great things to say about him. Said they'd say after a case was over, he'd come out and shake their hands and say, "Hey, hope you have a great day," etc. Because he knew that this was his profession. This was how he fed his family. This is how he gave back to his community. With all the negativity in the press today, dogging police officers, you have to remember that's a one-sided view. And pardon my language, cover the kids' ears. In 5, 4, it's bullshit. Are there bad cops, or are there bad cops out there? I'm sure there are, but they're outweighed by the good ones 10-1. I read a story the other day with the mayor of the city that I live in. I think it was the mayor. Anyways, somebody had put up there, a Kentucky state trooper crawled under a car helping a man change a tire. I guess he was an elderly gentleman. He got the tire out, changed the tire for him. State troopers don't have to do that. And I know any number of county deputies that would do that, as well as city police. I know them. I know they would. Jason was one of those. He was one of those good guys. He was a person that, the last time that he was actually coaching a T-ball league, he was doing so in his police uniform because he had just gotten off, or was getting ready to go to work, rather, and then got a call and had to run. This is all in the podcast episode, which will be available tonight. So, anyways, you saw that picture, and I want to say hi to Tony and Amanda and Teresa. That's in the chat room right now. You guys come on in and join the chat room. Speak with us. Don't be a stranger. We're all family here. Okay, I don't stand on precedents. Matter of fact, I don't stand it up right now. I'm sitting. So, but I would love it if you guys got in there and got interactive with the chat while I do some other stuff. Now, of course, you can listen to this episode tonight on any one of those. Apple, Spotify, Audible, Google, wherever podcasts are found, including, we got Audible on there, and there's a bunch more. Really, there's too many to name. Also, you can go to our website and listen to them on there. It's themountainmysteriespodcast.com. Of course, we've got the sale going on there right now, too, where you can get, we got everything on there but draws. Everything on there but underwear, guys. Seriously, we have beachwear for the ladies and the guys. We've got T-shirts, tank tops, sweatpants. I don't know. Maybe Arrow's even put shorts on there. Who knows? But, I mean, it's loaded up with stuff. And, Dad's Day is just around the corner. I wish I'd worn in here tonight. But I ordered one of they're called the Distressed Dad's Ball Cap. And it's got the Mountain Mysteries logo engraved on it. And they're really comfortable. They're really cool. And they're not priced higher than a cat's back. Nowhere on this cap does it say Harley Davidson. Okay. So that's probably why you're not giving $50 for a cap. Exaggeration, but still. And I love my brothers and sisters at Mineshaft Harley. I do. They take really good care of me and their family. So there's your little plug. But Jason Ellis was bad enough. I mean, that was, that shotgun blast, or those blasts, as it may have been, shattered the peace of the town. They shattered the heart of the town. Everybody that knew even there's a story, and I want to relate this to you real quick. Jason had arrested a guy on a minor drug trafficking charge. I don't know what it was specifically. I'm assuming it was something like a little bit of pot, something like that. Anyways, the guy takes his kid to a T-ball game the next day, and he stays in the car because he's trying to avoid Jason Ellis. Jason walks over and he says, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And that guy's like, "I'm okay." And Jason said, "Look," he said, "I'm not a cop right now." He said, "I'm a dad, and I'm a parent, and I'm a coach. Get on out of the car and come over here and throw the ball with your boy." That's the kind of guy Jason Ellis was. 8 years now. And to my knowledge, there's not been an arrest. He's not the only one, though. Okay? what I'd like to do, and I'm having to do this kind of slowly because this platform, this video streaming platform's changed some things up, so I'm learning it kind of over again. So just please bear with me. But what I would like to do here is show you another person of interest. This is going to be another person that we actually talk about. Okay, beautiful girl. She went missing, and they've not found her yet. Over this computer thing. There's enough technology in here to choke a horse. Really, it makes a lot of people go, "Wow, you're kidding me." No, but either way it goes, I want to hear from her. Crystal left behind, I think it was 5 children. Police assume that she's dead, of course. This has been some time that she's been missing. It was shortly, maybe a year or so after, her dad, and you can't really blame these people because her dad was one of those people, and this is her dad along with and what happened to his daughter. So he's standing on his own property out in the middle of this great big field. He owned a big piece of hunting land. His grandson is with him, and he takes a shot to the chest in front of his grandson. A lot of people say, okay, he was getting way too close to finding out the truth. But as the guys on TV say, oh, wait, there's more. Oh, yes, and there is too. I want to introduce you to, hang on here just a second. I want to introduce you. By the way, tonight we are going to be joined by a gal that I absolutely love. She is the leader of 606 Paranormal. Many of you know her. She's Stacy. I think we've got, love her heart. She went out and got the things that she needed to make it work because I do want her, and this is the first time I'm making this announcement. As long as she's cool with it when she can, I want her to be on here with me very often. She's got a great knowledge of the paranormal. She's got a very keen mind when it comes to crime and things like that. And the only thing this girl could do is help me be better. So that's really what I want. But first, I want you to take a look at these two. Go. What the hell is it about prom? Because it was shortly before prom that both of those beautiful ladies were tied up in their own home, beat, stabbed, shot. And this came just months after they lost the patriarch of the family, Sam's father and Kathy's husband, to cancer. Every small town's got secrets. I have no doubt of that. Every small town has secrets. And, I think we proved that with episode 1 with Tragedy at Paintsville Lake with April Pennington. But man, this one seems to have an overabundance of them. Whether you are, in Bardstown or wherever you're at, I know everybody's got them, but this is crazy. And here's the kicker to this. A lot of these were some years ago, 2015, 16, back to Jason in 2013, Kathy and Sam, and then you got Tommy and Crystal. Crystal again was Tommy's daughter. So yeah, if something happens to your child, you're probably not going to stop until You find out what's going on. So this episode that you're going to hear this evening, when it drops on Patreon and all these, or not Patreon, but on Apple's and all these others, is going to be pretty much one of those where it is. This one's about Jason. Then we're going to do one about Crystal and Tommy and Samantha and Kathy as well. Right now, I'm looking to see if Stacy's about ready to go on with us. I think, okay, she said just a couple of seconds. She's taking care of some stuff. Now, the interesting thing about this episode tonight, we're not only talking about the episode that just dropped and this episode, but if you remember last week or week before, I talked to you about a thing called the portal. It is absolutely ridiculous the way this thing works. I mean, well, I don't want to say how it works because I don't know how it works. It's ridiculous in the fact that it works. Because I told you last week I heard April's voice, or maybe it was week before last, and then I heard my mom as clear as a bell, and I heard what very much sounds like my dad. Stacy, if you're ready, honey, just give me a thumbs up whenever you're good to go. Okay. And she is actually going to put this thing to use tonight. We are going to let some of you guys get on the chat and maybe ask a question or two. And then after that, I mean, I'll be the guinea pig. I'll go first. But you have to keep in mind a couple of things here. Number one, spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call them. This is not a circus. It's not a dog and pony show. They are not dogs. They are not animals. You can't just snap your fingers and say, turn the doorknob. They're not here to provide tricks. If they're coming through at all, they're trying to communicate something. Treat them as people because that's what they are. They're people now without a physical form, but they are people nonetheless. I would never look at Stacy and say, yeah, you know, do this trick for me or do that trick for me or turn the doorknob, turn on the light, turn off the light, something like that. You treat them the same as you would as though they were actually here, because the truth of the matter is that they're here. Are you ready to go, Stace? Stacy gives me a thumb. We're bringing her on now. How you doing, dear?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you. Show everybody your shirt that I got to peek at. That's the Mountain Mysteries shirt, the Annabelle shirt. Yes. Holding my microphone with that demonic hand, and she's looking down, smiling at it.
Yeah, we got a few of them. They're awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So you've been listening.
The spirit box.
Yes. Yes, please do.
We got a couple set up over here that we're going to use tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to use a backup too so that we can get double.
Sure.
And this is our portal.
That's the thing that we used when my mom and dad came through and April came through, right?
Yep. You want to give it a shot?
Yeah, we can give it a shot, and we'll get some of our people in the chat room or listeners, you know, maybe one or two at a time, and maybe something will come through for them. You just have to guide me in this again, because again, I'm kind of, not really sure.
Okay. What I'm going to do is go over here to the portal, and I'm going to let you ask some questions.
Okay.
And then we're just going to go from there.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to start.
Sure.
Is there anybody out there who wants to make contact with us tonight? Hold on, I'm not getting an output.
Okay.
1 second, let me fix this.
Sure. Well, you know, we've also talked to a lot of the people.
Okay, I've got it turned up.
Okay. That you know, sometimes you think sometimes people.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of them on here. Actually, that one was from April's case we did last week.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we're ready now.
Ready?
Okay. Go
Anybody
ahead.
out there that wants to make contact with us? Can you hear that, Chris?
I heard it. I'm not really sure what it said.
Can you give us a name? What's your name? Okay, you're whispering. Can you talk up for us? Can you give us the name of somebody that you're trying to contact? You're also welcome to come over here and stand in front of this machine. I hear that you're a male. Can you tell me what your name is? Do you have a message for anybody tonight? Do you have a message for Chris? Sound like it said Chris. Do you have a message for Chris? Do you have a message for anybody that's out there listening to Chris?
This is the same thing I do when we're doing this without streaming. I lean in, I listen.
It sounds to me like it's an elderly gentleman. I'm not sure. We're going to try it again.
Okay. Stacy, how exactly can you describe to us what the principle is behind the portal? How does it work?
What the portal does is it's fed in gibberish. There's no words at all in this one. This was actually,
So if you get a word out of it, it's not like it was pre-programmed. It's there.
right. If you get a word out of it, then that's exactly what it is. It's a word.
Okay.
And it's made by Steve Huff.
Okay. So basically, it scans through what this gibberish
it's
and
fed in
allows
little bits, just bits. And so a spirit has to have those bits to make a word.
Okay, so basically, you're providing it the tool to create a word with.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Exactly. So when you feed all those into it, instead of going through like the radio stations, this is much clearer.
Now that's what a ghost box does, right?
Right.
Okay. It goes through several different frequencies, scanning rapidly, providing like white noise, so to speak, for a spirit to come through and communicate.
This is a little bit different in the ITC world. This is just feeding the bits. It's not got any words whatsoever.
Okay. I hear it still running. Yeah.
It's going. Let's go back over here.
All right.
We also got a new object.
Yeah, I would like for you to demonstrate some of your objects. Where did this one come from?
This one came from Ashland.
And is it
we keep on it
attached to it?
Here. Hello, we hear you talking to us. What's your name? Do you know Chris? Is there anybody else? Okay. Is there anybody that you would want to give a message to? Your family? You see?
It sounded like he said, "I'm fine."
He is. That's exactly what you heard at the same time I did.
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody wants to try to contact somebody, just let me know. We can start asking questions and
yeah, if anybody in the chat room has questions for this, people that are just now joining in, This is Stacy Underwood Gullett with 606 Paranormal. She actually has
Hello, everybody.
what is called a portal. The idea behind the portal is that it uses gibberish, allowing spirits to actually form words and put those words out there into thin air, allowing you to speak with people who are no longer here in a physical form. But again, this is not a dog and pony show. It's not a circus. We don't ask them to respond to tricks. We treat them as people because, in essence, that's what they are. They're just people without forms now. They've gone on to the next, I guess, level of existence is what you'd say. But it was only, what was that, Stacy? About 2 weeks ago when April came through and spoke to me, and then
Let's
I heard
see if
my
we can
mom.
get her. You want to see if
Okay.
we can get her?
April?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, Miss April, if you're out there, we would love for you to come and talk to us again. It's Stacy and Chris again. I'm sure Sharon's in there. Can you come and talk to us? Did you just say my name?
Yes, she did. That's her.
How are you today? Can you give us an answer of something? We want to know. You want to say anything to your mama? Did you? Can you give me a sign? April, if you're there, can you give us a sign?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there anything that you want to say to Chris again? Can you hear that okay, Chris?
I couldn't really make it out what it said, but that sounds so much like her. Yes. What did she say?
It sounds like she said something, Sharon. Do you have anything you want to say to the listeners or to Chris? I mean, sometimes when we go on investigations and we use this, we have to go over it and go over it and go over it.
Well, that's
to
part of it.
listen.
When you did the investigation, what was it? The last time that you were where you did the investigation, did you have a lot of success with it, or was it kind of mediocre, or how did that play out?
It was a little mediocre. We really didn't get much because of the traffic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We actually went during a storm. It's a little something we like to do just to test things out.
Yeah.
But it was a little mediocre. So, but next time we go, we're going to take all equipment and we're going to be ready to go.
That's coming up pretty soon too, best of my memory.
Yep. Yep.
So that's something that maybe we can get on here. After
Absolutely.
that and definitely discuss that and go over what was captured there.
Absolutely.
But it's just an aberration. And something else I noticed too, the first sound casings did sound like they were from an elderly gentleman. This particular one sounded like that of a teenage girl.
Yeah, you never know what's going to come through.
That's it.
It's depending on what you feed into it. Now we've got different things that we can feed into it. We can do this as well, but it's a little more white noisy.
Yeah.
But just depending on what gibberish that you feed into it, whatever comes out of it, that's what you're going to get. I mean,
I got to be honest. One of the things I
They're
like
going to
most about the
manipulate it.
portal is there's not a lot of white noise there. You pretty much get what you get, and there's no or nothing like that behind it. It's just you hear the gibberish, yes, but I distinctly heard April talking the last time that we did this, and I can make it
Absolutely.
out. And then I heard my mother's voice. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, saying words like "my son" and things like that, and
Yes.
you can tell.
They come when they want to come. We can't. We
Well, yeah,
can't
it would be like
never
me.
predict it. But
It would
when
be
they
like
come when
me
they
looking
want
at
to.
somebody and saying, "Get over here right now," and maybe they just don't want to come, or maybe they've got something else going on. It's
Right.
no different. They're still people. It's just they're people without.
Right.
They're people without the body. So
Exactly. We never know, what we're going to get, and that's the beauty of it. It's just like when April came through to us and answered those questions and called you her star.
yeah,
We never know what we're going to get, and that's the real beauty of it.
yeah, that got me in tears when she did that.
Me too.
Show if you would show. Let's see some of the objects that you've collected in there that have something attached to them, and explain a little bit of them.
Let's see. We're going to start.
And do you have this room blessed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We've only been doing this for with the objects for a little bit. Well, I have for a little bit, and whenever we go to a place that they feel like stuff has been causing them to have hauntings, they ask us, if we'll remove it. We remove it. We bless it.
And like Ed Warren said, sometimes it's better to keep the gun off the street by keeping it in your own place.
Exactly. For instance, this one, we went to Ashland for this home, and she said she'd bought this at an auction about 2 years ago, and ever since it's been nothing but problems coming out of it. That is what she felt. So,
what kind of problems did she feel she was having out of it? I mean, like,
first she started having premonitions of a man in a black suit.
Okay.
And then she started seeing him around her bed.
Okay.
And she started seeing him actually walking over and going for it a lot. So she felt like that might be his. Something that something that she shouldn't have purchased. So that's kind of what we did.
The dolls really
her mind on that.
The dolls really creep me out.
Oh yeah, well, these have their own little stories.
Yeah.
So we removed that, blessed it, and it's not, it's not in any harming anybody now.
That's good.
And it is a Stradivarius.
You showed me a picture a couple of weeks ago when we were messaging each other on Facebook and chatting with Sharon. The one right behind you. What's the story with that one?
That's a little different. Let me get you. I'll get you a little closer here.
Okay.
This one, I don't know if you can see her for the glare or not.
Yeah, we got a pretty good look at her.
Okay, she was in a home, and I guess after they purchased it, they figured that they were being touched lightly, caressed almost, and
but she was it wasn't anything harmful.
No, they said it was very sweet, but they were just like to start getting some rest
and spook. Well, I'm sure they were spooky. If you feel somebody playing with your hair and there's nobody there,
that's it was lovingly caressing and all that. And then
I know guys that would pay money for that picture. I do, because it's like they can't get past the body for that. So they can't get that. I don't know.
Listen, you get all kinds. You get all kinds here.
Yeah.
Good and the bad.
Yes. Well, it's very much like life. You
That's
get good
true.
and the bad too. So, you were with us at the celebration for April and Tim and Dwayne. Tell people about what we saw on, and I'm sorry, what is it called? An SKS box or SKS?
SLS.
SLS. The figures that they look like stick figures.
Yeah.
But
it maps images out. It's actually they started making that with the Connect. And
the weed?
so we turned it on at the celebration, and we started actually just panning around everywhere. And we actually looked behind Chris, and once she was on the table, or whomever it was on the table, and of course we had live music, and it was dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was off the table, and actually when Chris was talking, it was behind Chris.
That's when I was talking about April.
Yep.
And Tim. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
And then
we
it actually
have that on document. Yeah.
Didn't it reach out and touch her and hold Sharon's hand?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've got multiple times when we go to Sharon's house. We'll go in Sharon's bedroom, and she can sit on one side of the bed, and we can call out. And every time that we call out for her to come and hold her hand, it shows up. Whether it's, like we said, whether it's April or not, we believe it is.
There. It was showing up.
It holds her hand.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It's absolutely incredible.
She holds her hand out, and it will come over, and actually you can see the hand put it in, into her hand.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's absolutely incredible. Because for me, it's one of those things where I always believed, and I mean, I've had personal experiences myself, nothing big, few slaps on the back, stuff like that, which I guess for some people that would be quite big. I had a psychic medium. Her name was Kelly. When she came into my home, and she started dropping names that she couldn't have known, like the name of my great grandmother, which was Mary, my grandfather, whom is my namesake, Shelby, Christopher Shelby. And she said, I'm picking up on a Mary and a pink dress. Well, she was laid to rest in a pink dress. And then she said, and anyways, at that point I was like, well, I don't mind if they're here. I'm actually kind of happy that they're here. And that's when she gave me the first warning. I remember she said, look, sometimes things can make an appearance as one thing and be something entirely different. So let's just say a blessing. Let's do a cleansing and make sure. And, she actually welcomed the spirits of my great grandmother, my grandfather. And at that time, my parents were still alive, but she welcomed them in. And then she done the funniest thing. She said, ask your dad. And I forget the name of it now, but she said it was a beagle. And she said the name. So I called Dad right there. And I said, Dad, does the name, and just to go with the flow, I'll say, Fido. Does that name mean anything to you? He said, yeah. He said, I had a beagle when I was growing up. Now, how'd you know that? Now, do I think that everybody has psychic abilities? No, I don't. I think some people have gifts. I think everybody has a particular gift, be it one, whatever that may be. For some people, it's very artistic. For some people, it's, using their hands to make a living, carpenters, mechanics, etc. For some people, that would be, you have a connection. And I've seen it firsthand. It's crazy. And it never spooked me. I felt very relaxed with it, but I was like, how in the hell is she doing that?
It spooked me for years.
Yeah, I know. I remember that. So how old were you when you first found out that you could, see?
From what I remember, I was about 4 or 5. I never really talked about it because I just thought it was normal.
So you thought everybody else could do it too. They just didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I thought everybody else could see, 7-foot Indian chiefs in their closet.
You know who that sounds like? Lorraine Warren. Lorraine could see auras, and she thought that everybody could. So there's just something that they didn't talk about. So she said, well, okay.
I found out 20 years later that we lived beside of an Indian reservation that they had built homes on top of.
And that was in Paintsville, wasn't it? Yeah.
Near
Paintsville. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Then I had 2 cases very similar to what I went through as a child. Same area. 5 houses away from where I was having my, visions and things that I was seeing at that time.
And when did you decide to say, okay, I'm going to use this as opposed to run from it?
About 2 years ago. I got kind of tired of always holding my head down when I walk into rooms, especially at night, or hear things or see something. I'll just like this. But I tried many years because I've been on the paranormal team for over 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing private cases for about 22 years. A lot of them, I just work with children who went through what I did. And that's why we don't do YouTube channels and things like that, because the things that we do are very private.
I respect that. Have you seen an increase in children with these abilities over the course of the last 20 years?
Seems like they're more, especially over maybe like the past 10 years. I've had more cases.
So you think it's growing?
I do, and I also feel like that a lot of these paranormal TV shows that are coming out, and everybody's, wants to be the paranormal investigator, and they think they see or they hear something, and go download the latest app, and I think that brings a lot of people to call us, and because a lot of times when they start off with these apps, they end up with a lot more problems than what they.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like opening a door. It's almost
thought.
like using a spirit board or something like that. It's
exactly.
Nothing like this should be taken lightly.
Absolutely not.
I believe that. Keith Age.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Keith has been really big into the a paranormal investigator for some time, and he actually had experiences happen to him at Waverly Hills that almost put him in the hospital if they didn't. I'm thinking that maybe one or two of them did, but he said to me once, he said, "Look," he said, "it's 100%. 99 of it is bull crap, but 1% is real." Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
So 99% of it, if I called you and I said, "Stacy, I'm hearing strange noises in my house," chances are you could come over here and inside of, I don't know, the course of a routine investigation, discover, well, okay, your pop-off valve on your water heater is bad, and you got some rattly pipes upstairs that are not attached, and that's what it is. But that other 1%, that's what you look for. Yep. But when you go into an investigation, you don't look for it to be haunted, do you?
You have to put that in the back of your mind first.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go through, and you have to be the skeptic. You have to go through each and every thing that they tell you and figure it out, what it could or could not be, could be. You just have to really sit down and talk to the person and get to know them. We just don't go to someone's house one time, do a walkthrough with video cameras and set it up for one night. No, when somebody contacts me, I'm available 24 hours, 7 days a week if they need me, especially if it's to do with a child.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, see, I don't appear once and then don't come back.
It's like I told you, I'm the kind of guy, I walk in the house, I say, "Oh, this is beautiful. This is get out. I'll see you all later."
Yeah.
And there's even been some cases which you thought were far more malevolent and darker that you referred to others, didn't you? Like demonic.
Oh. Yeah, I actually walked away from the paranormal for about 7 months because of that.
God exists.
That was horrible.
God exists. The devil exists.
Absolutely.
The fairy tale is true. That's what it said. And I believe him. Yeah, there is a God. There is a devil. Yeah, I absolutely 1,000% believe that. I do.
Yes.
And my thing is, I want to invite the right kind. I've always said anything of God or Christ, I want around me.
Exactly.
The other thing, no, I don't. And I'm not going to do anything to invite that if I can help it. That's why I tell people, you want to do paranormal investigations, great. Mentor under somebody who's done this, that knows how to protect themselves and can teach you how to protect yourself.
Yeah, you're opening yourself up if you try that. You're really opening yourself up for some dangerous times.
Yes. So we're going to switch gears a bit from the paranormal to true crime, which it's on the Apple Podcast thing that says where true crime meets paranormal, which is pretty cool, I guess. You've heard of Jason Ellis,
yes,
the Bardstown police officer that was murdered in May of 2013.
Yep.
You're a Patreon member. I don't know if you've got to listen to it tonight because you got early access to it. Have you heard?
We listened to it. Mm-hmm.
What do you think of it?
I thought it was absolutely heartbreaking.
It is. Do you think that these are connected? Do you think that these 5 murders are connected?
I feel like somehow, somewhere, some way, and I've been looking at conspiracy theories because that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they could be.
Well, I have no doubt that the case between Crystal and Tommy are connected because Tommy was Crystal's dad. There's no doubt in that. And he was murdered about It was a little over a year past she was, and he was getting close, I feel,
Yeah, they
to
said that
finding
he
out.
was getting real close, and that he gave some names or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, that he knew somebody he thought that did it.
Yes. And it's the same thing that goes back with me. I mean, here's the thing. Okay, I talked, and I won't mention his name out of respect to him because I love him to death. He is in law enforcement, and he knows a detective now who was working with that particular police force at that time. Well, that guy was supposed to have been working that night that Jason did, but he came down sick as a dog. He thought he was going to lose his own life. So Jason said, "Yeah, I'll fill in for you." And Jason went and filled in for him. And he said to this day, he said it creeps him out. He said, was it meant for me? Was it meant for Jason? Was it meant for somebody else? Was it somebody just trying to send a message?
Well, hadn't he had that car, they said, for like a week prior to this?
Yeah. Jason was the only canine officer on the
Right.
Bardstown police officer. Figo was his canine officer's name. Beautiful
Yeah.
German Shepherd. But his vehicle was in the shop for repairs. Now, what one theory goes is somebody was telling him, passing along information to some guy up there on the bluffs on the lookout on exit 34, the Bluegrass
Right.
Parkway. Somebody had thrown some limbs and tree
Yep.
branches, whatever, in the road.
As a setup.
Jason gets out to do what he does, which is try to help the community. And some chicken ass coward takes him out. But
Yep.
whoever this guy was knew what he was doing. And they had to have known the area. They had to have known that the bluffs are going to provide maximum cover. Here's how we're going to get this guy out of the car because he's a cop. What do cops do? They put their lives on the line every day for people.
Yeah.
And Jason gets out of the car to clean this so nobody is going to run over it, do damage to the car, or have an accident and hurt
There's
themselves.
not much traffic at that time of the night.
No, it was around 2:30 in the morning. I think they said between 2 and 2:30 in the morning.
Clean shot.
Clean shot. And it was with if I understand right, a 12-gauge shotgun.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times he was hit.
Even with the bulletproof vest on.
Yeah, he did have a ballistics vest on. And apparently they hit him in the stomach.
Yep.
And I mean, that'll kill you. Absolutely. Yep. That'll take you out. And then, of course, we got the other ones. What did you think about Samantha and Kathy? She was the teen girl getting ready for prom. And like I said, what the hell is it about prom? Because every time I hear that, I think of April. I think of April Renee every time. And then her mom was an elementary school teacher, a school teacher. Who is going to have that kind of a grudge against a school teacher?
Well, whoever did on theirs had a real grudge because
they went into their
brutal.
home.
It was brutal.
Yes, it was like stab, cut, shot.
They said the little girl was punched numerous times, brutally punched, and then her throat was cut.
You know, I'm not a cop. I've never been a cop. At one point, I really wanted to be. And I'm glad I didn't become one. Now, I don't think that they could. I don't think that I could handle what these guys and what these men and women have to handle. But I know that there's three things there that's got to line up: motive, means, and opportunity. Well, okay, we've got the means. We had the opportunity, apparently, especially with any one of these five people. But Tommy, the motive, apparently he was getting way too close to finding out what happened to Crystal and who did what. I get that part.
Probably the same person.
Quite likely. Crystal, I don't really know what was going on there. I have no idea.
She was going to leave her husband.
Okay, so that's what it comes down to. Take the kids. And
she had been keeping files on him. I guess he'd been doing some dirty businesses and things, and and she'd been keeping files on him in a warehouse type thing. Yeah. And I guess the FBI here recently, the FBI went in and started removing all the paperwork because she told so many people, if something happens to me, he's going to try to kill me. I've got all this against him. The reason that she first did that was that so he would let her leave.
And one of the things too,
he'll never let me leave, alive. But she's going to blackmail him. I guess this is, like I said, I've been reading, into it a lot. But
I'm really glad.
I guess hers was it.
Because I don't think it's very long ago the FBI actually came in and took over that particular case.
They found a body last week. They found a female body last week. Yep. They think it's her.
But they've not released positive identification.
It's 4 miles. It is 4 miles from her husband's grandmother's farm land. they found the body of a woman
Well, that
around her age.
that pretty much knows that. I mean,
And it was if it hadn't been flooding, they never would have found her. It had
I'm
washed
assuming there
out
wasn't much left other than perhaps a skeleton,
bones.
bones.
That's why they're not letting anything out at the moment. But
Well, I get that. I understand why.
they haven't confirmed it. But I think they said there's only one other woman that's been missing, even like within 50 miles of that place. So it's either her or Crystal. They're thinking.
And given the proximity
4 miles
to a relative's
from her
property.
in-laws. Mm-hmm.
They also didn't.
But her husband's brother was a police officer in that area.
Yeah, he was. He
And
got
they
dismissed
actually fired him.
Yeah, I think it was conduct unbecoming or
For
something
his-
like
yes.
that. Or
Yep.
yeah, we actually talk
Absolutely.
about that on the podcast too.
Yep.
The thing that puzzles me the most, Crystal, Tommy, but why and what could somebody have against Kathy or Samantha Netherland? We're talking about a teenage girl. What was Sam? She was what, 16, 17, something like that?
16. She's
Okay.
Getting ready to go to prom, so I was something like
Getting ready to go to prom, and then you had her mom, Kathy. And
they
they
buried her in her prom dress.
they had just lost the patriarch of the family to cancer. Wasn't
Mhm.
even a year ago, was it? Before this happened.
Yeah.
So heartbreak on top of tragedy.
Yeah.
And then of course we got Jason. And he's all about that's the episode's about him tonight, but we do mention these other people because we are going to do different episodes on them too. Because if I've ever seen or heard of a mountain mystery, this is one of them. We got 5 right there in the same town. And what is there in that town? 14,000 now, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more. I don't know, but it's not. I mean, it's about an hour and change south of Louisville, and Louisville's got a ton of people. We know that's a massive place. It's a metro place, but you go an hour and a half south, and I mean, they've always prided themselves in, USA Today and Rand McNally said the most beautiful small town in America.
Yeah,
and I get it. If you ever go through there, if you've ever been there, it is beautiful. It's a nice place. Most of the people very friendly. They'll walk up to you. Hey, how you doing? But every small town has secrets. And this is absolutely no different. But I'm still that haunts me about Kathy and Samantha. What was it that they could have been in that got them into that kind of trouble, unless they were somewhere and seen something they shouldn't have seen or something like that? And in our chat room, Tony Fairchild just made the comment that he thinks that they're related. I do too. I
found the conspiracy theory. I'll read it to you real quick.
Yes, please.
Says, I was scrolling through my Facebook news feed, came across a post about this. One of the comments there was something that caught my eye about the Netherlands, which is the daughter and the mother.
Okay.
It says there's a possible connection between the Hucks, which is Crystal's husband, and Ellis Netherland. I'll sum it up. It does get fairly specific. I haven't seen any confirmation on this yet. It basically says that Ellis had heard that the Netherlands had accused Officer Huck of trying to come onto her daughter, started looking into it, which led to his murder, and then the Netherlands. Again, none of this is verified. Obviously, there would have been an arrest. But there is also the matter of the Impala that was near the Netherlands. Crystal had an Impala, which Brooks would have had access to. What if, in fact, all this theory is true and Brooks was actually there to help his brother? You've seen the black Impala that they had the picture that was there at their home, they suspect.
Yeah. No, they actually found Crystal's car on the Bluegrass Parkway, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So that would answer some questions, and that would tie them. That would make them related.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if the same people are doing this, the thing 3, 4, or 5 times, then yeah. But that episode, the first one, which is about Jason Ellis, and I think it's called Secrets of Bardstown, the Mountain Mystery of Jason Ellis. Anyways, it drops tonight, and people will have it by in the morning. Anyways, it takes Apple, and don't get me wrong, I appreciate Apple for publishing it and all this, but it's getting to where it takes them 2 hours to watch 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They take their own sweet time. They don't get in a big rush. Spotify gets it. I mean, if it drops at 12:01, they've got it published by 12:05. They're great with that stuff. But that's going to be tonight, and I'm thinking that our next one may very well be on Samantha, because I have been in brief communication with Sherry Ballard, who is Crystal's mom. And be it we do it this way or actually make a trip to Bardstown, whatever it takes, I really want to talk to her. And if I'm going there, I'd also like to talk to Rick McCubbin. Now, McCubbin was the police chief that was in charge of Bardstown Police. He was in that role when Jason was an officer, and he's since moved on from it. And I think there's been one or maybe two new chiefs, but I would love to talk to them too and see, what their thoughts and opinions are. And Amy, now, who is Jason's wife, now lives in Louisville. But I think that these people, excuse me, they certainly deserve justice, and they certainly deserve never to be forgotten. Every one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have explained to me already how a lot of these people have, especially with Kathy and Samantha, what the possible motives may have been. And all we can do right now is really just kind of hope that they do get justice, and that they. So, do me a favor, because we're almost at an hour in now. Do me a favor, if let's say somebody's having some kind of an issue, how can they contact you? I mean, if they come to the Mountain Mysteries, I'm going to contact you and give you their number. But if they want to contact you by email or your website directly, how could they do that?
We're working on a website right now. Actually, we're working on it today. So we're going to have a website, but we have a Facebook page at 606 Paranormal. You can message me there or on Facebook under Stacia Underwood Gullett.
Okay, let's say that I want to message you, and I don't know you, and you don't know me, and I'm thinking, oh, she'll probably think I'm crazy. What would you say to that?
No, absolutely not.
Try us and see, right?
Yeah. I'm here to help.
And you do.
And I keep everything completely confidential.
I remember a while back you had to drive quite a distance to help a person out, and since you removed said object, have they had any more problems?
Nope.
I mean, this was not quite. I remember you and I speaking about it, and you said, well, I've got to go here and help this person. And you didn't know at the time what you were getting into. And I do remember you saying, makes me a little antsy, but you went down there and you
I would not put any of you all at risk.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. My team members, you, Lloyd, Sharon, no. You're my family.
Well, these things are, Lloyd, these things are very real.
Yes.
Demonic, it's real, just like angels,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the more I was honored and got lucky enough to speak with Lorraine, even after our interview, we were on the phone for quite a few minutes, and she was telling me about things, and I never did ask. I did respect what Tony's request was. Tony's Farrah. He is Lorraine's son-in-law, Judy's wife, or Judy's husband.
Don't ask about Amityville.
Do not ask about Amityville. Whatever happened there changed her. She saw something that was so incredibly evil. I do remember hearing her tell Tony, that's as close to hell as I ever want to get. And that was too close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So whatever it was, and I couldn't help, after doing a little bit of research, think to myself, she's afraid it will follow her or come back into her life after her if she brings this up.
And they will.
And who can blame her? So I did respect it. I got to talk about Annabelle with her, got to talk about the Perrins with her, got to talk about all kinds of cool stuff. Well, it's episodes 9 and 10, I think, or 10 and 11, whatever it was. But you talk about a genuinely beautiful soul.
Yes.
And a sweet and kind woman. When the world lost her and Ed, it got a lot darker.
Yeah,
I believe that. And of course, there's people out there, they made all this up. It was this and that, and here's what I told, somebody, and it was some years ago. They said, well, how do you explain them getting paid for doing these investigations? Okay. They never got paid for doing the damned investigations. Number one, they did charge for people to come to the museum. Ed gave them the spiel about don't touch, don't provoke, don't, just look. If you got questions, feel free to ask, as long as they're respectful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. And they wrote some books on this stuff and they made money. Who says that they should not make money off of their knowledge and off of their work. They've got to live too.
Or talk about how many of the thousands that they've helped.
Yeah. Nobody ever brought that up. You know,
Right.
at least not the naysayers. But to the naysayers, they never charged a damn dime for anybody to come and investigate.
Yep.
You haven't either.
Never.
Somebody comes to me, and we've had a few. Well, how much would you charge to do this for my family? How about nothing? And, you know, this ain't us trying to be holier than thou. I don't judge anybody because I sin differently, Stacy. But when it comes to helping, I've seen the look in Sharon's eyes when that thing got reopened. I saw the look on Dwayne's grandmother's face. I saw the tears. They're real.
Yeah.
And if I can do anything to help any one of those people or anybody else out there by bringing this and shining a light on it to the public, because the thing about the Mountain Mysteries is we're new. We're just a little close to 3 months old now. But we were doing the analytics. Arrow was doing the analytics. And we're growing by what he called multiples. We're not growing 1 or 2 downloads a day. We'll start out with like 80 and 90, then it goes to 180, then it goes to 360, then it's like multiplication. He said it's boom, boom, boom. It's getting bigger and bigger, bigger. Hell, we got listeners in Malaysia now, and I thank them for that, by the way. But I didn't know that there were people in Malaysia that spoke English.
Yeah.
Because my daughter looked at me, she said, "Is this thing translated?" And I said, "I don't think so." I said, "And I do well to speak the Queen's English, let alone Spanish. The only words I know in Spanish are quesadilla. I know those, but I mean, and I'm not making. I think it's a beautiful language. I just don't know it, you know. And I never took it in school, and I wish I had a. I think German's a beautiful language. We got listeners in Germany. We got listeners in Norway. You know, we're starting to pick them up. And the thing that I want the reason I want that is so these people are not forgotten. People know the name April Pennington. They know the name Dwayne Lovelace. They know the name Tim Stambo or Mamie Thurman or Muriel Baldridge or take your pick, Jason Ellis. They know who these people are.
Yeah.
And we are branching out. We're getting bigger. You know, Bardstown is in Kentucky. Yeah, it's all great and well. And we're looking to get out to, we actually had an email or not, but a message from Vietnam. Yeah. And to ask me exactly what, because I read some of it and the English was broken relatively. I mean, it was kind of rough. But if there's something, and we've checked them back and said, look, if there's something that we can do to help you, keep your sentence structure very simple. Remember, I'm a country boy from Kentucky. Okay. I drive fast, ride fast. You know, what is it Dad used to say? Yeah, if it's got a beat to it, you can dance to it. And if it's got hair on it, you can ride it. Right. I said, well, okay. But the simpler it is, the better. Like if somebody were to message me and say, family haunted, family missing, something like that, I'm going to get that real quick. Now, if anything that says haunting, guess who I'm calling? I'm calling you. Don't say Stace. And I've done that before. Hey, Stace, you might want to check it, you know, here's something. But if it's something having to do with working with you to put forth together a podcast like that, and we'll do that. Because I'd love to have you on a future episode when we do this follow-up on April, because there is one coming, because new things have come to light. You know this.
Yep.
New things are being discovered.
Yep.
And she is why this whole thing got started.
We've worked so hard for so many years.
You guys have. Yes, you have.
We can't thank you enough for that.
Well, you guys have. And, you know, there would be some out there that have you believe, oh, it was an accident. To that, oh, shit. No, that was no accident.
No.
That was no accident.
No.
On neither April or Tim. Just like I believe that Dwayne was no accident.
No.
And when we went out to Wolf Lake that day and you captured what you captured with the I'm sorry, I'm still learning the terminology, K2 meter.
Mm-hmm.
And the other, and you also had, well, Lloyd was there with a camera and captured.
Yep.
I mean, that freaked me out when I saw some of that.
We take multiple K2 meters with us so that we can have backup proof.
Well, I don't think Sharon's on here tonight. I think she may be taking a little bit of time for herself and her family, which is awesome.
She's going on vacation for a week.
Okay. And God bless her. She needs it.
Yes.
But she's got a gift of, I mean, she is intuitive. She's empathic, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what it seems like to me, because she looked at me, she said, "It's not here, it's over here." And she walked and walked and walked. And sure enough, turns out that's about where.
Yeah.
And I was just like blown away.
She'll
by
just
that.
tell you what's on her mind, and half the time she's right, you know?
Yeah. And for me, I mean, in my opinion, anybody can do that. Half the time is great. And I think her
Mhm.
score is a little better. So it's great.
Yeah.
So you and
That's
I
why I
will talk.
adopted her.
I don't blame you. I thought she adopted you. Anyways, you all adopted each other.
Yeah, we all kind of adopted, you know, each other, but she came to me for help a few years back, and I've never left her side since.
No. Now, you knew April, didn't you? I
I
mean,
did.
when April was here, you guys were actually pretty close, weren't you?
We got to be, well, we went to Porter together as little kids.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we became, you know, you've always got those little childhood buddies that you will
Oh,
never
yeah.
forget.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember a lot of the people I went to Painesville with. You're one of them.
And we were a lot alike, so we kind of were buddies from the start.
Yeah, we gelled pretty quick. We did.
Yeah.
But I think that the follow-up episode is coming, and I've had several people ask me about that.
Yeah.
And
You can go live at the investigation if you want to for your listeners.
yeah, we can do that. We can
Whatever
either do
you wanna do.
Restream or Facebook Live or something. Because I don't necessarily have to be on this platform. I just like it really well because we can get messages out there and all that to people too. But we are about wrapped up, I think, for this particular episode. We're an hour and 10 minutes into it. But now that we've got your computer issue straightened out, or actually now that you did, I didn't have nothing to do with that. You did. I would like.
It took me a few minutes, but we got it.
Yeah, you got it. And you know what? It's working great. I think.
Good deal.
Yeah, I see that pretty face, and there you are. Yeah,
You know,
well,
I love you.
I love you too. And yes, and tell Lloyd I love him too. So it's
He loves you too.
there he is. Is he wearing a cap? The Mountain Mysteries cap?
Nope.
Okay, I was going to say it looks a lot
He
like
needs one.
that. We'll get him one. I'll hook him up. So
I hooked him up with some t-shirts, so
yeah, okay. So yeah, we can do that
Mountain
too.
Mysteries.
Well, yeah, we can do that too. And I do want to remind everybody the sale goes on through June 25th. You want to get on there and find it. It's great. And yeah, I think Sharon adopted I know she adopted me, and she adopted Allie too. And,
yeah, we all
and her
adopted
grandcat.
Allie.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's my baby.
Yeah, she's just a doll, ain't she? She's something.
Oh, she is something else. I love her. She's great.
Acorn don't call far, or does not fall far from
It
the
does
tree.
not. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I told her.
Yeah. Good Lord, you're just like your daddy. God help you.
That's exactly what I told her.
Yeah, I said, Lord help you. You're like your daddy. So, well, with that being said, I think that I'd like to invite you back next Thursday evening. Yeah, I'd love to have you back on here with us again.
Anytime.
So we can sit down and talk about the things that have happened this week and the upcoming episode, which that one is probably going to be the next episode on Bardstown is probably going to be about Kathy and Samantha. Oh, and big word here. It's either going to be that one or a missing girl from Cincinnati. They found her. She was deceased, but 25, 30 years later, they're still looking for her car because they think there's a lot of evidence in that car. But anyways, guess who's going to be helping write that one? Arrow. Turns out that Mr. Arrow has a penchant for writing, and he's quite good at it. That takes it off my table. I'm like, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. So let him write it, and that's fine with me.
Him and Allie are a team.
They are, and they're both really great at research.
They are
really great at writing and things like that. The creative outlet. So, Stacy, I love you bunches, and love you too. And we'll be seeing you next Thursday. And don't forget, everybody else, the podcast drops a little bit after midnight tonight. You know the places it's available. Of course, you can hear it on the mountainmysteriespodcast.com. For Stacy Underwood Gullett and Lloyd Gullett, I'm Chris Sloan. Stay mysterious.
See you.
From one coast to the other, mysteries are everywhere, and we will continue to pursue the answers to those questions and more. Please share, like, and rate the Mountain Mysteries podcast and tell your friends to tune in on Facebook or YouTube. The Mountain Mysteries gatherings are each Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to support the Mountain Mysteries search and help these families, join us on Patreon, or you can make a one-time donation as well. The Mountain Mysteries and the Mountain Mysteries gatherings are property of the Pantry Studios and Chris Sloan, who writes and produces the content. If you would like to reach out to the Mountain Mysteries, please email us at pantrystudio@yahoo.com. Until next time, my friends, stay mysterious.
A Pantry Studio production.